and welcome to the Gameplay Cast review for Disney Star Wars The Acolyte Episode 5, Night. In this video, we're going to review the 5th episode of the show produced by Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, Leslie Headland. This episode is called Night and is supposed to feature a lightsaber battle equal to, or better, than the Duel of the Fates. We also get to find out the not-so-secret identity of Smilo Ren. Okay, so for a fair comparison, let's refresh our memories of that epic battle in Episode 1. With that fresh in our minds, let's get into the episode breakdown. We're straight into the aftermath of the thread wave from the end of the last episode, which apparently straight up killed a guy. Maybe he had brittle bone disease or something. We then get a pretty lame lightsaber battle where the Jedi literally jump onto the end of Smilo Ren's lightsaber.
How embarrassing.
Yord probably should have had his leg cut off, and despite what would be a brutal leg wound, he's fine just running for the rest of the episode. I assume he just walked this off. Good Sister shoots Darth Ezra with the stunner, and he's just magically immune to it. Must be that magical bullshit helmet that, if you watch closely during the episode, is lightsaber proof, just like his magical bullshit arm guard, but it's not elbow proof, so it's not OP. Meanwhile, Bad Sis takes the Wookiee's lightsaber so that the Padawan she fights later can dual wield. Yord tells Good Sis to run, so she runs, then decides to get her torch out and shine it all over the place when she's running to escape from someone. Obviously, as a result, he easily finds her, and we get a pretty cool scene with a lightsaber throw that is deflected by Master Squid Games, who's finally woken up or something. Anyway, Yord and Good Sister run for the ship after Squid Games' command of...
Civilian to the ship!
Strange dialogue, okay. It's now just Smilo Ren vs Master Squid Games. And I guess here they're trying to create some kind of horror vibe, as for no reason, Smilo Ren keeps tilting his head like what your dog does when you do something weird. There is some cringe dialogue where Smilo won't reveal himself because Master Squid Games could read his mind or something, so his magical bullshit helm is also basically Magneto's helm from the X-Men? Okay. We now get the main event. A bitch fight between the girl bosses. Padawan girl boss versus assassin girl boss. Yeah, it's not the worst fight I've seen, but there is a point where she pauses while cuffing Bad Sis to read her crimes back to her, which then allows her to escape. And we also get a lot of arm swinging instead of punching. It's just so forced, like why isn't the Padawan running to the aid of her master who is literally fighting a Sith? Credit where credit's due. Kudos for the dropkick out of nowhere though. We return to Smilo versus Squid. What master hides his face from his pupil? You tell me, blah blah blah. Meanwhile, the girl boss fight continues. Again we have another Jedi being attacked with a weapon and not drawing their lightsaber. This is not a thing, Leslie. If you attack a Jedi with a weapon, even your fists, they could kill you with their lightsaber. What are we doing here? Jump to pointless dialogue scene to build up to Good Sis and Yord returning to the fight, even though they were told not to. Back in the fight, and Smilo kicks Squid Games away and then disappears to go join in with the girl-on-girl action. A wise move. Cut to Yord and Good Sis running for maybe the third time in about 5 minutes, just so Yord can deliver some word salad dialogue answering the question, "What is he?" and him saying, "He gets inside your head." How? So his magical bullshit helm allows him to get into other people's minds, i.e. he can use force powers through it, but it protects him, and it's lightsaber proof? Why didn't he just make a full suit of this stuff, and he'd be unstoppable?
He doesn't follow the rules of combat, and there's no method to his movements.
I suggest a method, Yord. He's trying to put the hot bit into your body to kill you. Yord then starts running on his injured leg.
It doesn't make sense.
Here I have a question for the writers. Why didn't you just injure his arm? Or his torso? Then him running would be completely fine. Smilo appears out of nowhere and stops Bad Sis from being arrested. Luckily, Girl Boss Padawan can actually sense and uses the Force, so is able to defend herself when surprise attacked. I don't know where Master Squid Games is yet, just taking a nap again or something. Again, we see the magical bullshit arm guard that when striking a lightsaber makes it turn off for some reason. Lucky Bad Sis picked up that lightsaber, which she didn't do for any of her other victims. She did it just so Girl Boss Padawan can block the attack. We then get the Padawan dual wielding while fighting Smilo. It's not too bad, but we do get echoes of Echo here. I mean, look at this strike. What the f*** is the point? She turns her back on her opponent, who just stands there and lets her do this pointless jump strike. She should have just drop-kicked him. While this is happening, Bad Sis makes a run for it. Smilo then breaks one of Girl Boss Padawan's lightsabers and goes after her. The Padawan is so amazed the lightsaber broke, she just stares at it and misses Ren running off completely. Run cut. We've now reached the spot with the giant flying woodlice from the last episode. Only, wouldn't you know it, they've all woken up, or matured or something, and are flying around in the trees. Yord completely forgets these things existed and that they are drawn to the light. Even though we had a very obvious and deliberate prompt in the last episode, which is repeated for us retarded viewers again. Cornered by Smilo, Bad Sis begs for forgiveness and reverts back to form. Guess she's evil again now? Goddamn cultists, never making their minds up. Smilo frees her, but then continues trying to kill her for the rest of the episode. Weird. Lucky for her, Master Squid Games stops him from killing her. Why the Jedi would be so concerned with a Sith killing another Sith, I don't know. This is not actually a terribly choreographed fight when Master and Padawan fight Smilo together. But again, they go out of their way to stop him from killing Bad Sis. Why? Cut to the running, well, walking away again. Good Sis gets alerted by Bad Sis and tells Yord they have to go back. She says he's going to kill them all. Like this is some kind of revelation. He's literally been trying to do that since the moment he revealed himself. She then shines a torch to attract the flying light, and with these flying woodlice reinforcements, Yord decides they can now go back to the fight. It's like this is the time Yord has to die in the script or something. Oop, spoilers, sorry. He's also running on that bad leg again. Back in the fight, and it's time for the grand reveal. Smilo Ren's magical bullshit helm gets elbowed twice and comes straight off. Wouldn't you know? Turns out, all you needed was some Girl Boss elbow grease. And wouldn't you know, Darth Ezra is revealed after murdering the fuck out of Padawan Girl Boss. R.I.P. Jackie, Jockey, I don't know, whatever your name was.
Was that its name?
Now there's some pronoun use I can get behind.
It is your destiny.
Insert pointless cut back to Good Sis feeling something in the Force, I mean the thread. Some cringe dialogue where Master Squid Games is mad as Sith killed his Padawan, having already killed like 5 Jedi. Ezra then literally does the "what's that behind you?" and throws his cloak at Master Squid Games, who takes it full in the face, instead of simply stepping to one side, by which time Darth Ezra has started choking out Bad Sister, and again Master Squid Games seems to be getting his twins mixed up. This bitch has literally murdered 2 Jedi. It gets even worse as he disarms himself as Darth Ezra is threatening to kill Bad Sis. This whole scene is stupid. It should be Good Sister who is being threatened, not Bad Sister. We get a whole monologue from Darth Ezra like, he just wants to be free.
Freedom.
I want to break free!
Question, couldn't he have just left the Republic and on a planet not part of the Republic he could have kind of done what he wanted? You know, might have an easier, less stressful life. Anyway, Yord to the rescue. You clearly see here that anytime Smilo, I mean Darth Ezra's helmet or wristband contacts a lightsaber, it goes out for a moment. No explanation. I'm going to call this Jedi Beskar, the new magical bullshit material, coming to a galaxy far, far away, near you. Anyway, Yord gets his neck promptly snapped. And I mean, I believe it to a point. Ezra has been hitting the gym and those biceps are popping. Good Sis shoots Bad Sis bang on with the stunner this time, which makes me ask the question of, if she's okay shooting her now, why not in episode 2? Oh, sorry, what's that? Oh, right, yeah, the plot needed it to happen. Okay, sorry, yeah, my bad. Squid Games finally kicks the shit out of Darth Ezra, and it's weird, seeing 2 men fighting, it's actually pretty good. This is easily the best fight in the episode, and kudos again to Master Squid Games. He's really trying, and I do like Master Saul. It's just a shame about everything else. And I mean everything. They utterly ruin this moment of goodwill when Squid Games then doesn't execute Darth Ezra. For fuck's sake, this guy's just killed, 7 Jedi now, including your Padawan and a close companion. Sorry, but the sentence is death. They don't need to arrest him, and for the second time I'll point out, there's no such code saying a Jedi cannot attack an unarmed opponent. This single scene just ruined the entire episode. It's so fucking dumb. He doesn't kill Darth Ezra. Ezra then says something cryptic about dark side. Oh, have you leveled with your dark side or something else? Whatever. Good Sis confesses her love to a robot toolkit.
I love you, Pip.
Uh-oh. What has she been doing with that thing? And then we get the robot's head being attached to the back of Darth Ezra, who is then set upon by the flying woodlice. Because him potentially being eaten by monsters is somehow okay and more humane / honourable than a quick, clean death. Obviously he's going to survive. He killed 5 Jedi at once. Are 5 moths really going to kill him?
Boring!
Good Sis immediately jumps on the words of a Sith and is like, "What did he mean, Saul? What should you confess? Why shouldn't I trust you?" No tears for a dead Padawan mate or her fellow youngling Yord, who she just watched get murdered right in front of her. Wow, this bitch is heartless. Bad Sis has immediately woken up from being stunned, so this stun gun stuns you for what? 2 minutes? And she stuns Master Squid Games. We then have this bizarre chat between the sisters, which is mega super cringe, and in no way lines up to Bad Sister's previous plan of handing herself in and being loyal to her sister. The delivery is super wooden. It's literally like a cultist speaking to a normal person.
They invaded our home. Invaded.
We get a super cringe hug and a weird fight where Bad Sis remarks, "You could never block." But there hasn't been any reference to this. Not even in the flashback episode. So she says it like we should understand this, but it's just out of the blue. She then cuts her hair in the most idiotic and dangerous move I have ever seen. One slip and she would have literally cut her own nose off. It's unbelievably stupid. Bad Sis impersonates Good Sis and leaves her sister to die alone in the middle of a forest to save herself, I guess? Saul doesn't notice or pretends not to notice. They head back to the ship, just leaving the body of his Padawan and all those dead Jedi. How dignified. We get a scene confirming Darth Ezra is alive, and Basil the hamster picks up the droid's head, which will be the clue to discovering that Bad Sis is impersonating Good Sis at some point in a future episode. It was about now when I realised how truly awful the music in this episode was. The final scene is then Darth Ezra finding Good Sis and putting his cloak on her while talking a load of word salad, dressed up as deep and meaningful dialogue. It might be a famous verse or quote or something, but I was desperate for the episode to end at this point, so I stopped caring. So, was this epic battle-filled episode better than the Duel of the Fates? Let's ask Darth Ezra.
No.
Of course it wasn't, but I mean, at least they tried, I suppose. Now, there are some maybe even good bits of fighting in this episode, but nothing even close to the quality of the fight in episode 1. It's let down by some of the choreography, like why couldn't they use proper stuntmen and women? It also feels really disjointed because it keeps cutting away from the fight like every 30 seconds. And I think this is because they weren't confident they could do a 5 to 10 minute long fight in lengthy takes. Probably because they haven't bothered to get proper stuntmen and sword experts. So they broke it down into small bite-sized chunks, which in itself isn't terrible, but doesn't allow the tension to build up. It's just like yay or yay or yay or between fighting scenes and pointless running scenes for more than half the episode. Scores on the doors time. I'm going to be as fair as I can be and give this episode a 3 out of 10. I give 1 point for some of the fighting being decent to watch, mainly all the scenes that centred on Master Squid Games. And I'll give a bravery point for the needless but brutal deaths of Padawan Girl Boss and Yord. Actually, you know what? F it, it's a 2 out of 10. I can't actually think of anything else I liked. Oh wait, the dropkick out of nowhere deserves a point. I'll stick with the 3 out of 10. To summarise, we opened with Jedi red shirts literally throwing themselves onto Darth Ezra's lightsaber. The fight dialogue was as bad as all the rest of the show's dialogue, and a massive negative for me was the sound and music. The Duel of the Fates song is so freaking epic, it actually makes the fight better. Here we get the most generic action music, it really does sound like stock audio, Shame they couldn't afford John Williams out of that $180 million budget. Even the Smilo Ren reveal was silly, as his magical bullshit helm is impervious to lightsabers, but not a 5'5" female Padawan's elbow. And that's just my point. Any kind of logical analysis of the character's decisions, the sequence of events, their motivations, etc., it just all falls to pieces. I mean, Ezra's apparent motivation is he just wants to use his powers to...
I want to break free.
without the stinky Jedi stopping him. And he wants a pupil to teach for whatever reason. Well, leave the bloody Republic and odds on you'll be okay. You did all this for what? Again, he seems to know the crux of what the Jedi did to the lesbian witch coven, but how he knows this and what this actually is still unknown to the viewer. So it's not a very satisfying motive at this point. I hope that it's worth the wait, though odds on it's probably not. We've all guessed the Jedi must have done something naughty and killed the coven. How or why is still a mystery. A mystery I'm fully expecting to be a contrived load of illogical nonsense that probably unintentionally makes the Jedi's action understandable and justified, which will then just throw further shade on all of the plot so far. I tell you what, I'd have given this episode a 4 out of 10 if Master Squid Games had executed Ezra. Instead, we get the Jedi do not attack the unarmed, even if the unarmed is a serial Jedi killer who's just killed your Padawan and a close friend. Newsflash, this isn't attacking someone, it's a summary execution, and it's f***ing warranted and deserved. Equally, why the Jedi constantly interfere to save Bad Sis, and why she seems to mean so much to Master Squid Games, makes no sense. She's a psychopathic cultist who's murdered one Jedi and forced another that probably had PTSD or something to self-delete. If you are entertained for hours by the lights on a Christmas tree, then this will probably be a decent episode for you. There's plenty of shiny. For those wanting a meaningful struggle between good and evil, immersive characters, and story, this episode is just the same as all of its predecessors. Boring, illogical fanfiction. Anyway, that is all you get, and as always, f*** Erebus.